Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. BNB spoilers, Ridge leaves Brooke because Taylor is dying. The bold and the beautiful BNB spoilers document that Ridge Forrester Torsten K loves Brooke Logan Catherine Kelly Lang. That one change now that he knows Taylor Hayes Rebecca Budig expects to die. Brooke is secure. In recent weeks, she and her daughter, Hope Logan Annika Noel, have been reinforcing the depth of Bridge's bond. But Taylor's crisis dramatically shifts the dynamic. Ridge has openly demonstrated his fondness for Taylor since she returned to Los Angeles, California, is not based on nostalgia alone. Ridge and Taylor were married twice. But they have not been united in many years. Brooke's overwhelming pull proved too much for Taylor to overcome. Devoted viewers recall that Krista Allen's solid version of Taylor led to Ridge briefly leaving Brooke. However, Ridge could only get up to Taylor's cover of Thomas Forrester's Matthew Atkinson frame of Brooke. So, the intended remarriage to Taylor was halted before the vows were exchanged in the fabled Forrester mansion. Unless she's in the process of a tremendous deep fake, a modern cheeky term, if there ever was one, then Taylor is seriously ill. Heart failure is a potential killer, with Taylor believing she does not have much time left to spend with her loved ones. Telling Lee Nozawa Naomi Matsuda about her diagnosis opened the daytime door. Taylor is working her way through a process where she intends to share everything. Collapsing at Forrester Creations, with Ridge just feet away as that happened, was not part of Taylor's slow rollout plan. The urgency of Taylor's condition must now be directly addressed. Viewers expect additional medical consultation with Lee, John Finnegan Tanner Novlan, and possibly returning character Dr. Grace Buckingham Cassandra Creech as part of the official diagnosis and hopeful solution. Brooke will naturally support Ridge when he's by Taylor's bedside. Lang's character had a wonderful, open talk with her one-time nemesis prior to Taylor's collapse, which puts Brooke in an open, compassionate frame of mind. However, the length of Taylor's incapacitation will directly affect Brooke's outlook. Brooke will speak out if she sees Ridge impacted beyond what seems natural. Ridge will surely be emotionally drawn to the mother of 3 of his children if she is believed near death or heading in that morbid direction. But an extension of her life would extend this path indefinitely. Imagine an unexpected turnaround, where Taylor's health is restored, and Ridge is put in a potentially impossible emotional spot. The classic triangle, with Ridge in the middle of Taylor and Brooke, could instantly re-emerge, making choices possible for the 3 legacy characters. The warm Californian sun cast its golden glow over the sprawling Forrester estate, but the beauty of the day was lost on Ridge Forrester. His mind was a storm of conflicting emotions as he paced the length of the living room. The words Taylor Hayes had spoken to him only hours before echoed relentlessly in his mind. "I don't have much time left, Ridge." Taylor was dying. Ridge felt his chest tighten as he replayed the scene. Taylor, always so strong and vibrant, had looked fragile, almost ethereal, as she broke the news to him. Her eyes, those soulful windows that had always held so much love for him, brimmed with tears but radiated a quiet acceptance. She wasn't afraid, but Ridge was. The thought of losing her, the mother of his children, the woman who had been a cornerstone of his life, was unbearable. And yet, there was Brooke. Brooke Logan, the woman he had loved passionately, tumultuously, and endlessly, was waiting for him at home. Their marriage had been tested time and again, and despite the ups and downs, they always seemed to find their way back to each other. But now, as Ridge grappled with the devastating news of Taylor's illness, he felt an unfamiliar distance growing between him and Brooke. Taylor's quiet strength. Taylor sat alone in her garden, the scent of blooming roses wafting through the air. She had chosen this spot deliberately, a place where she could find peace amidst the chaos. Her diagnosis had been a shock, but she had come to terms with it. Her focus now was on her children Thomas, Steffi, and even the grandchildren she adored. But there was one more thing she needed before her time ran out: closure with Ridge. They had shared a lifetime of memories, from the joy of raising their children to the heartache of betrayals and separations. Through it all, her love for Ridge had never wavered. It wasn't that she wanted to rekindle their romance, she simply wanted to know that when her time came, Ridge would be at peace with her passing. As if summoned by her thoughts, Ridge appeared in the garden, his face edged with worry. He hesitated for a moment before sitting beside her, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavy between them. "Taylor," he began, his voice breaking. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" She placed a hand over his, her touch both comforting and firm. "Because I didn't want this to be about me. I wanted to focus on the time I have left, not the time I'm losing." Ridge felt his throat tighten. "You don't have to go through this alone. I'll be here for you for whatever you need." Taylor's eyes searched his face, and she smiled softly. "I know you will, Ridge. But you have your own life, your own commitments." Ridge's thoughts drifted to Brooke. The life they had rebuilt together felt fragile now, like a sandcastle being swept away by the tide. Brooke's growing unease. Meanwhile, at the Logan estate, Brooke sensed something was wrong. Ridge had been distant lately, his mind seemingly elsewhere. She tried to brush off her fears, telling herself that their love was strong enough to weather any storm, but when Ridge returned home that evening, his silence spoke volumes. "Ridge," she said gently, placing a hand on his arm. "What's going on? You've been so distracted." He looked at her, his expression a mixture of guilt and sorrow. "Taylor is dying." Brooke froze, the words hitting her like a punch to the gut. She knew Taylor's place in Ridge's heart, the history they shared. The thought of Taylor's illness stirred a complicated mix of emotions: sympathy for a woman she had long considered a rival and fear of what this meant for her marriage. "I'm so sorry," Brooke said sincerely. How is she handling it?" "She's being Taylor," Ridge said with a faint smile. "Strong, selfless. But she shouldn't have to go through this alone." Brooke's heart sank as she saw the resolve in his eyes. "What are you saying, Ridge?" He took a deep breath, struggling to find the right words. "I need to be there for her, Brooke. She's the mother of my children, and she doesn't have much time left." Brooke stepped back, her voice trembling. "And what about us? What about our marriage?" "This isn't about choosing between you and Taylor," Ridge said earnestly. "This is about doing what's right." But to Brooke, it felt very much like a choice she feared would leave her on the losing side. A family torn apart. As the days passed, Ridge found himself spending more and more time with Taylor. He accompanied her to doctor's appointments, sat with her during quiet moments, and became a pillar of support for their children. Thomas and Steffi were grateful for his presence, but they couldn't ignore the strain it was putting on Ridge's relationship with Brooke. Steffi confronted her father one evening, her tone both loving and concerned. "Dad, are you sure about this? I know Mom needs you, but so does Brooke." Ridge sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I'm trying to do right by everyone, Steffi. But this isn't about me or Brooke. This is about your mother and the time she has left." Steffi nodded, understanding the weight of his decision but fearing the consequences it would bring. Brooke's breaking point. Brooke tried to be understanding, but as Ridge's absence grew more pronounced, so did her resentment. One evening, she confronted him, her emotions boiling over. I can't do this anymore, Ridge, she said, tears streaming down her face. I can't keep pretending that everything's fine when it's not. Ridge reached for her, but she pulled away. Brooke, please. I never meant to hurt you. But you are, she said, her voice breaking. You're choosing her over me, over us. It's not a choice, Ridge insisted. It's a responsibility. Brooke shook her head, her heart breaking. Maybe it's both. The final goodbye. In the end, Ridge knew he couldn't have it all. As much as he loved Brooke, his commitment to Taylor and their children had to come first. One evening, he sat down with Brooke, his heart heavy. I don't want to lose you, he said, his voice thick with emotion. But I can't be the husband you need right now. Brooke looked at him, her eyes filled with sadness. I understand, Ridge. But understanding doesn't make it hurt any less. They shared a long, tearful embrace, knowing that this was the end of their journey for now. Ridge left the Logan estate that night, his heart heavy but his resolve firm. He would dedicate his time to Taylor, ensuring that her final days were filled with love, support, and family. A bittersweet ending. As Taylor's health declined, Ridge stood by her side, their bond stronger than ever. Brooke, meanwhile, found solace in her family and friends, determined to rebuild her life without Ridge. The love triangle that had defined so much of their lives had reached an unexpected conclusion, one marked by loss, sacrifice, and the enduring power of love. For Ridge, it wasn't about choosing between two women, it was about honoring the life he had built with both of them and finding peace in the choices he had made. And as the sun set over Los Angeles, he held Taylor's hand, grateful for the time they had left together even as his heart ached for the love he had left behind. 40.